Mustache here. That's what's up. Okay, well, I'm doing this live from Cafe Azul because we have guys building a bodega at the house right now, and I have so much more to come on that. I'm actually here with Clem, who lives at the house, and little thing. She's like tearing up stuff here on the floor. You at home with everybody bought all the toilet paper, and now they're selling it off on Facebook and in their houses. But I did want to talk a little bit about what's going to be going on here in Mexico. I actually, I was wondering, from Canada originally, like why Canada hasn't closed their borders. But I actually watched a really great guy. He's actually Canadian. He works for World Health Organization. He said, well, closing borders doesn't really do anything because it comes across in the goods that are shipped anyway. Hey, Deborah. Good. So we a lot of focus on Mexico being unsafe since there has been no national cases as of yet. The only cases that we've had have been people from outside coming in. So the threat here in Mexico is not heard they're going to potentially close us with the U.S. Susceptible. I mean, they're starving. They're already susceptible to disease there, and in order to try to protect them of those camps, or that people are saying, well, we were living in, we were almost starving where we came from, and now we're almost. She was distracted by this. Well, Antoinette, that is so sweet of you. That's really lovely. Thank you so much for saying take care. We're actually doing okay here. We have a few things really worse here. Number one, we get to everyone's. Number two, this is not a place of mass hysteria. Number three, nobody in the cities. We've been Purelling for a while. It's been like when I was a big deal in the tropics. A lot of this country that's populated is along the coast and it's tropical. So we have that in our favor. They're actually only predicting a really bad connection because I'm at the cafe at the corner. I am so sorry if this is choppy. Has said that they're only looking at people infected just get a cold. So that they're only predicting about 200,000 people to be infected here. And I think part of that is because we're past our cold and flu season here already. It ends in January, so we're like into the hot season here now. We're in springtime, like all that sort of cold season is over here. A lot of the country is in the tropics, is in the heat, is at the beach, where there isn't, much threat of a virus spreading. And we're about to go into Semana Santa. So, like, if there was a good time to get this, like, the best time I could think of is this time of year here in Mexico. So, the government has taken, kids are going to go out of school March 20th to 8 people, just over a week to prepare for it. Two members that can help out with childcare here. There's a lot more built-in childcare into family systems, so it's adequate childcare. There's no privatized childcare in Canada. I can't just like show up and other things. So no one's really even helping each other out. That's the vibe. Like selfishness and greed. And then my kid has to come home with me for 3 weeks. I have no money or options, and I'm living in a society without those family systems in place. I think as a single parent with a solo business has taken a hit, but again, I'm just so lucky to be living here because I can brave it here. She goes to a school that's not closing. Kids Club doesn't close, and Kids Club is opening to kids that, whose parents are working and can't and need something. So what's going to happen is kids are going to come out of schools where they're in there by the hundreds and the thousands, and they're going to go into these like home daycare situations where there's going to be a dozen kids or, 20 or 30 max together. Children are not getting infected. They're just passing the disease on, or the virus, sorry. So they're not even really at risk. But it's such a great way that they did it here, because I think what the majority is going to happen is that elderly people will end up staying in with children. Semana Santa has been extended by a week on top. So I just think people are going to come to the beach early, and it's going to be great because the city's like empty out already. So anything that hits a city where, they might have an issue with having enough healthcare available, I really see the kind of thing, but in Japan, people are not being tested unless they're deathly ill. And I think that the hysteria is going up in these other countries where